Listen, ooh, wow. Y'all, there's one thing that I miss when it comes to eating meat is a dish called griyo. If you are Haitian, then you know all about this. I am not Haitian, but shout out to my Haitians. I tasted griot for the first time at Miami Carnival, and I fell in love. I, at the time, didn't know anything about épices, which is that green seasoning. I didn't know anything about sour orange, but all I knew is that I wanted more of it. And I felt like I had to wait until the next carnival to get it. So, it has been years since I've had griot, and since going plant-based, it's one of those things that I thought I might have to say goodbye to. But you know what? I literally believe that there is nothing new under the sun and that you can take plants and remake your favorite dishes. So I want to shout out this cookbook, Haiti Uncovered by Nadege. Nadege is a wonderful chef and a culinary historian of Haitian cuisine. And in this book, she has a recipe for griot. Now, of course, it uses a traditional pork, but I'm gonna do something a little different. I'm going to take her recipe and use it as inspiration. And we are going to use the beautiful jackfruit to remake Haitian griot. Let's give it a try. Hey, I'm your host, Shelly Wellness. I'm on this journey to elevate our consciousness around food, and I invite you to join me. On this channel, I'll share recipes created with mindfulness, rooted in wellness. Welcome to the Mindful Plate. So we're gonna be starting off with jackfruit, which gives a beautiful stand-in for pork. If you can look at it, it looks just like pork. If you wanna know how I prepared this, then you should check out my jerk jackfruit video. In that video, I go into all type of detail about how to prepare green jackfruit to get ready for your meat. All right, so normally I would use sour orange, but I couldn't find any. So I'm gonna be using lime as a substitute. If you have sour orange, by all means use it because that is the flavor. But I'm gonna say lime is probably gonna come the closest to that. So you can use lime if you can't find sour orange. So I'm just putting a little bit here. Now, a lot of times the citrus, the sour orange, the lime, etc., is used for cleaning. Now, we obviously don't need to clean this, right? It's already been rinsed, but I am gonna add it in here because I want that flavor. I'm gonna add some garlic powder. I'm adding some onion salt, which is like onion powder and salt, so that takes care of a lot of things. And then, y'all, this is what makes it come alive. This is my favorite seasoning ever. Man, nothing. I love all type of green seasonings, but the Haitians have it on lock. This is my favorite type. So I cheated, y'all. I do make green seasoning, but I decided to go to my favorite Haitian cafe here in Brooklyn. Shout out to La Cou Cafe. And I bought their green seasoning, their épices, and so I'm gonna be using that. And you wanna be generous, okay? Because you want this flavor to seep through. Be generous with this. Don't skimp. And because I need a little bit of heat, not a lot, just a teeny bit. This is not supposed to be a spicy dish. It's just very flavorful. I can taste it now. One of my favorite things to do is to go compa dancing. Now, I have not been compa dancing in a while because pandemic, so lockdown, quarantine, all that stuff. But you better believe during quarantine, I was playing lots of compa around the house. And one of my favorite things was that at the parties, they would always sell food. And listen, griot, some pikliz, banane pesée. That was my favorite thing to eat. Oh my goodness, you can tell me nothing. I was in heaven. Like, that was just a perfect combination. So I look forward to going back on the dance floor. But for now, still keeping it safe. If you've ever danced compa, then you know you are all up in somebody's atmosphere. And I don't know if I want to be all up in people's atmospheres right now. And then we're gonna add some thyme because thyme is just one of those essential ingredients in most Caribbean recipes. And Nadege adds thyme. So, like I said, I'm loosely following her recipe, trying my best to make it my own. There's two things you wanna get right. The first is texture, because it can taste good, but if it's weirdly textured, something in your brain is like, nah, this doesn't compute. I don't wanna eat this. So you need the texture to almost mimic what you're used to with meat, so much so that it's almost a surprise. And that's why I chose jackfruit, because jackfruit is the thing that's gonna give it that texture that we're used to. And then of course, flavor. Now, what's very interesting, hello meat eaters, I'm talking to you, is that all of what makes meat taste really, really good is the seasoning. And guess what the seasoning is, y'all? Plants. Hello, plants. Hello, plants, right? It's just the plants. And so once you get your texture right, and your seasoning is already in point, because you're taking the same sort of principle that you did when you were making meat, and you're just adding it to what is now your plant. Ooh, I smell that. Oh, I'm so excited. Yes. So we have thyme, we have Scotch bonnet, plenty of green seasoning, do not skimp. We have onion powder, garlic powder, some lime. And now we're gonna get in here, yes, with our hands, because this is an ingredient too. Make sure they're clean. And as you're in here, just massaging to let everything get to know each other, become friends. And then we're gonna take this and we're going to roast it. And the roasting process is what's going to give us that griyo-ness, that, oh, I cannot wait. I'm so excited. So this just dawned on me. Now, Nadej doesn't have this in her book, or like I told you, when I first had griot, it was outside Miami Carnival. And I remember smelling it before I even tasted it, and it was on a grill. And so I was thinking, what could I use to give it that grill-like flavor? Because that's like that smokiness. Well, shout out to this, coconut aminos. If you don't use coconut aminos already, you definitely should be adding it to your seasoning bucket, because this gives meat-like flavors to plants. And this particular coconut aminos has a smokiness to it. So I'm just gonna add a little bit, because I'm not trying to like have a full-on barbecue, but I am trying to recreate that grill-like smoky, but not too much smoke, effect in my griot. Ooh! Come on now and smell this. Oh, I can't wait till they introduce smell-o-vision, y'all, because this is giving me life. Wow, this smells so good. And you know what's so beautiful about using plants is that, unlike meat, you cannot taste it when it's raw, right? So you gotta wait till that baby is cooked to make sure that it tastes like how you want it to taste. But when it's a plant, you know, you could sample along the way, make sure it's giving what it needs to give. Let's see. Listen, ooh, that Scotch bonnet said hello. Hello, I'm in here. I add a little bit more salt, because we know salt amplifies the flavor. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Griot is like little pieces, little chunks of pork, if you will. So I'm just gonna kind of take it and shape it a bit, and I'm going to place it on my baking tray. And then I'm gonna put that baking tray in the oven and let it roast and kind of dry out until the texture becomes like a grilled pork. All right, so now I have my little griot pieces made. So what I'm gonna do is put this in the oven, and the goal is to dry it out so that what's left is that flavor and not so much the wateriness that jackfruit can tend to have, because it's been sitting in water in a can for some time. And I also want it to brown and give me that beautiful brown color that looks like it's ready to eat. I just want to say shout out to Nadej for making my griot dreams come true. Listen, moment of truth. I'm so excited. And one of my favorite ways to eat griot is on top of banane pesé, which is also like fried green plantain or tostones, with a little bit of avocado. If you have pikliz, you can do that too. Let's give it a try. Wow. This jackfruit is a perfect stand-in. It has a meat-like texture, as you can see. And of course, the flavor is what you make it. So good. Wow, so good. If you have your favorite recipe already for griot and you know what seasons you like, just use that, but substitute for jackfruit instead. And you get to take out some of the steps because it's not meat, so you don't have to wash and boil and all those things. You can just start with the seasoning, roast it, and listen. You have the most delicious vegan griot. All right, you all, until next time, you already know if you want the newsletter, I'm in your inbox every Tuesday with mindful eating tips as well as more recipes. Until then, I'll see you.